When a student gets an A, it should mean that student's academic performance is superior, far above everyone else's performance. But what does an A really tell you if everyone else gets an A too? Harvard University decided to do something about the fact that 85% of the grades assigned to its students are A's. The faculty will vote next year on a proposal to limit the number of A's doled out in each class to just 20%. Tara, according to Forbes magazine, grade inflation isn't just a Harvard problem, it's a national problem. Do you agree?
Absolutely. There is increasing expectation that if I am paying for this education, the more the education costs, the more I expect that my child is going to get an A or at the very least a B+. And you know, what has been taken out of the equation is, first of all, the individuality and the human response to being in school. You know, I can be the best teacher in the world, but if you aren't showing up and doing the work, no, you really don't deserve an A. But there's, on the other side, a parent who's paying all these big bucks who thinks, my child should be getting an A because I've paid for this A. And unfortunately, what we're seeing is the commodification of education.
Right.
The other problem is that, and I've touched upon this a little bit, by everyone getting an A, it takes away the notion of that A should reflect the actual work that is put in.
Yeah, and that it's superior to other folks' works, like it's not an F, it's clearly not an F. Ben, Harvard did a report which showed that faculty are concerned that if they begin to give out hard grades, then students aren't going to enroll in their classes. And enrollments do affect things, right? What are your thoughts about the pressures on enrollment?
Yeah, and I think those are all legitimate concerns. What I also think is a legitimate concern is that if you force the majority of students to not be able to have an exceptional grade when they do exceptional work and they are learning and they're putting the time in, I think that is wrong, that it's forcing them to compete against each other. It's not putting the priority of actually learning the material and taking away an education, which is the priority. And there are other answers to coming up with a way to see where the students are. Harvard students, just like the students that we have, they're not people that we scoop off the street and say, hey, why don't you be in my class? They have excelled, they have made it into college, and they're excelling in college. So for them to get good grades is not a bad thing. It is something that we should consider. Is it reflective to what they're learning?
Yeah, so Anirban, some of the pressures to do something about grade inflation are coming from prospective employers and also professional school admissions officers who are saying we're having a hard time distinguishing and being able to rely on transcripts. Your thoughts?
Yeah, so what I have seen over the last 20 years, and many of my colleagues have agreed with me, is that a couple of things have happened. One, 15 years ago, when I was teaching, my syllabus used to have way more stuff that students had to read, multiple articles, books, and so on. We have started cutting that down, right? We have to diluting these syllabi over time, and now the syllabi is way less than what you used to teach. Plus, we are getting much more lenient with grading. But if you look at the pattern I am seeing mostly is this bimodal distribution. Not that everybody is getting an A, but there is a cluster of people who are getting A's, and they might not deserve it.
Yeah.
That's a different question. But on the other hand, a lot of people are getting B minus C, and the middle is missing.
Are getting
but I do think the
else.
arbitrary cap is not a good thing.
Not a good thing. Lisa, we only have a minute left.
I'm with Tara on this. It's a real problem. I say that as a professor who teaches in law school under a mandatory grading curve. We have it because we recognized long ago that without these kinds of limits, we get the prisoner's dilemma that Nina's talking about, where everybody feels they've got to inflate the grades. The signal is lost to the employers. The reputation of the institution suffers. And most of all, the students suffer, because when the reputation of the institution suffers, they suffer. And there is a study that we don't have time to talk about, but that an economist has shown, besides that this grade inflation is actually directly harming students by reducing ultimately their lifetime earnings by over $200,000.
Yeah.
We're not sending the right message.
Yeah.
My last point is Harvard's solution doesn't go far enough because it wouldn't cap anything other than an A. You can still give all the A minuses in the world you want to give.
An A plus?
Right. And possibly A pluses too, which would be worse. Well put, Lisa.